my partner announced. By the way, my kids don't see you as their dad, accept it after 5 years together. I said, finally clarity. When I removed them from my insurance and stopped paying their private school tuition, they suddenly saw me differently. I'm 42 male. I'm a software architect. I do pretty well for myself, and I've built a life I'm proud of. My house is 100% mine, paid off long before I met my partner. We've been together for 5 years, and she and her 2 kids moved into my house 3 years ago. Their biological dad is a total ghost. He pays a tiny court order amount, and that's only when the state threatens to take his license. So I stepped up. I didn't legally adopt them, but I took on the role. I put them on my top-tier PPO insurance plan. I've been paying the absolutely insane $30,000 per kid per year tuition for fancy private high school they were already in. I bought the 17-year-old a safe, newish SUV for his birthday last year. It's in my name, on my insurance. I paid for the braces, the summer camps, the European school trip, the high-end laptops. I did it because I loved her, and I genuinely thought we were building a family. The kids were, well, they were teenagers. Kinda distant, always on their phones, but I figured that was normal. They called me by my first name, which was fine by me. The whole thing detonated last Tuesday. It was a normal night, just me and my partner. The kids were out. We were discussing college applications for her son. He's a smart kid, but he's lazy, just coasting on easy A's from his expensive school. I mentioned that we should look at some good state schools, and that it was time for him to get a part-time job to understand the value of $1. She just stared at me. A job? Why? He needs to focus on his applications. I told her, it's not about the money, it's about responsibility. And besides, these private universities are hitting $90,000 a year. My helping out doesn't mean a blank check for life. She put her fork down. Her face went completely cold. I don't understand you. You can afford it. It's what a father is supposed to do. I'm trying to be a good father figure, I said, and part of that is teaching him not to be so entitled. She cut me off. Don't call him that. She took a breath, and then she dropped the bomb that changed my entire life. Look, you need to understand something, and I'm saying this to help you. By the way, my kids don't see you as their dad. They never will. They appreciate the things you do, but you're just my boyfriend. You're not their father. So, accept it, and stop trying to parent them. I just sat there. The air in the room felt like it had been sucked out. It wasn't a punch. It was like a giant neon sign had just been switched on. 5 years of my family. 5 years we love you. 5 years of me funding a lifestyle they couldn't dream of, and I'm just my boyfriend. I looked right at her. I didn't yell. I just nodded very slowly. Finally, I said, clarity. She looked confused, almost relieved. Good. I'm glad you're not, getting defensive. No, I said, picking up my plate. You're right. I accept it. Thank you for being so honest. I went in my home office and shut the door. She probably thought I was in there pouting. I wasn't. I was working. Clarity. That was the word. I'm not their dad. I'm her boyfriend. Okay, a dad has financial, moral, and legal obligations. A boyfriend doesn't. I opened my laptop. First, I went to my corporate benefits portal. I'm the principal on the account, so I control it. I clicked, make changes to my coverage. Reason, change in qualifying life event. What event? Change in dependent status. Her son and daughter were listed as my domestic partner's dependents. I clicked the remove button next to both of their names. My monthly premium instantly dropped by almost $900. Their coverage would terminate at midnight. Second, I opened my email. I found the contact for the bursar's office at their private school. I drafted a polite, firm email. Dear Ms. Name, this email is to inform you that I will no longer be financially responsible for the tuition of stepson or stepdaughter, effective immediately. All future invoices and payment plan correspondence, including the upcoming semester's payment of $60,000 due in 3 weeks, must be directed to their mother, partner's name. Thank you. I hit send. Third, I log into my auto insurance app. I removed the 17-year-old's SUV from my policy. Then I removed him as a listed driver. Finally, I went downstairs. The keys to the SUV were in the bowl by the door. I picked them up, took them to my office, and locked them in my safe. I slept on the couch. It was the best night's sleep I'd had in years. The next morning, I was up early, made my coffee, and was on a work call by 7 a.m. She must have thought I was still just angry and giving her the silent treatment. The first explosion came at 7:45 a.m. Her son, ready for school in his $300 sneakers, came downstairs. "Hey, where are the keys?" he mumbled, staring at his phone. "I have them," I said, not looking up from my laptop. I need them? For school." "No, you don't," I said. "You're not driving that car anymore. It's uninsured, and it's my property." He finally looked at me, confused. "What? Why?" "Mom." My partner came running down the stairs, tying her robe. "What's going on?" "Stepson, you're going to be late. He won't give me the keys." She turned to me, her face already clouding over. "What is this? Are you being petty because of last night?" "No," I said, taking a sip of coffee. "I'm acting on the clarity you gave me. You were crystal clear. I am not his dad. I'm just your boyfriend. Boyfriends don't buy 17-year-olds new cars and pay their six-figure insurance premiums. That's a dad thing. You told me not to be one, so I'm stopping." Her jaw just dropped. "You're taking his car?" "I'm reallocating my asset." I said, "He can take the bus. The public school bus route stops at the end of our street." "He doesn't go to public school," she shrieked. "About that," I said, "you should probably check your email. I've informed private school that I am no longer paying their tuition. As just a boyfriend, I felt that was a massive overstep of my bounds. That's a parent's responsibility. So you or his actual father will need to handle that." She went white. She fumbled for her phone, opening her email. The son just stood there, his face a mask of total disbelief. "This is insane. You can't do this." "I just did," I said. My partner looked up from her phone, her eyes wide with pure panic. They're going to unenroll them. The payment is due. I don't have $60,000. I don't even have $6. "That sounds incredibly stressful," I said, turning back to my screen. "As your boyfriend, I'm here for you emotionally. Let me know if you need a hug." You monster," she screamed. "You'd ruin my kids' lives over one stupid comment." "It wasn't a stupid comment," I said, my voice still calm. "It was the truth. Your truth. You just didn't expect me to listen. You thought I'd just sit here and be your dad-in-name-only wallet while you and your kids had zero respect for me. The ATM is closed. The bank is shut." The son finally spoke. "So I'm just supposed to take the bus?" he asked, as if I'd asked him to go to the moon. "That, or your mom can drive you," I said. "I'm in a meeting." The second wave hit around 11 a.m. My partner had driven them to school, fuming. She got a call. It was her daughter's orthodontist's office. Partner's name, "We're calling because stepdaughter's insurance claim was rejected. Her coverage was terminated as of midnight. We can't proceed with her adjustment today unless you pay the $800 balance out of pocket." My partner came back to the house. I was on another call, but I muted it. She just walked up to my desk, grabbed a heavy glass vase, and threw it at my head. I ducked. It shattered against the wall. "You canceled their health insurance? What is wrong with you? What if they get sick?" I stood up, my own anger finally breaking through. "Enough! You said I'm not their dad. A non-parent is not obligated to provide health insurance. It's my plan, my money, and I'm choosing not to. What if they get sick? That's a parent's concern. You told me I'm not one, so you figure it out. Get them on the state exchange. Call their actual father. I'm done." She actually took a step back. She saw I was serious. The entitlement on her face just curdled into pure, unadulterated fear. She had finally, truly understood. The fear lasted about a day. Then the entitlement and the dirty tricks came roaring back. She realized she had no money, no leverage, and no way to pay for the life I'd been funding. So she switched tactics. First came the tears and seduction. That night, she came into the office, wearing lingerie I'd bought her. "Baby," she cooed, trying to sit on my lap. I literally moved my chair away. "I didn't mean it." "You know I didn't. You are their dad. You're the only dad they've ever known." I was just stressed. "I'm so sorry. Please, just fix it. Call the school. Re-add them to the insurance. I can't live like this." "No," I said. "What?" "No, you don't get to say that. You don't get to fire me as dad and then rehire me 24 hours later when the bills come due. You said it. You meant it. You just didn't like the consequences." Her face hardened. "You're really going to do this. You're going to destroy my children's future." "I'm not doing anything," I said. "I'm just not doing anything anymore. This is the natural state of things. This is what your life would be if I wasn't in it. You just get to experience it while still living in my house." That's when she got a lawyer. It was fast. 3 days later, a courier served me a letter. It was from some slick downtown law firm. It was a notice of de facto parentage and palimony claim. It was absolute garbage, but it was meant to scare me. It claimed I had established a de facto parental relationship, and that by withdrawing support so suddenly, I was inflicting intentional emotional and financial distress. It also claimed she was my common law wife. Our state hasn't recognized common law marriage in over 100 years, and that she was entitled to half my assets and permanent support. I laughed. Then I called my lawyer. My guy, a shark I've had on retainer for my business, read the letter. "This is a bluff," he said. "A very expensive, very stupid bluff. This lawyer is a bottom feeder. First, the de facto parent claim is toast. And guess who torpedoed it? Your partner. The second she told you, you are not their dad, she destroyed her own case. Second, she's not your wife. She's a tenant at will. She pays no rent. She has no lease. She's a guest who has overstayed her welcome. So, my lawyer said, we don't just respond. We attack. We serve her with a formal, legal, 30-day notice to quit. We get her and her children out of your house. 2 days later, she was served. A process server handed her a legal 30-day notice to vacate. I've seen anger. I've seen sadness. This was something else. This was the shriek of a cornered animal. You're kicking us out? You're making us homeless? My children? You're throwing children out on the street. I'm terminating your tenancy, I said, my voice flat. You have 30 days to find a new place to live. That's the law. I'm not going anywhere, she screamed. This is my home, too. Is it? I asked, is your name on the deed? Is it on the mortgage? Did you pay for the down payment? Have you paid a single bill ever? No, this is my house. You are a guest, and your visiting hours are over. This is when the kids, who had been sulking and skipping school, they were too embarrassed to take the bus to the public school they'd been enrolled in, suddenly got very interested. You're kicking us out? The son said, his voice cracking. Where are we supposed to go? That's for your mother to figure out, I said. Then the daughter, in a move of pure, distilled entitlement, said, You can't do this. I'm calling the police. I'll tell them you're abusing us. Go ahead, I said. My lawyer's number is on the table. They'll be happy to talk to him. She did. She actually called 911 and claimed domestic abuse. A patrol car showed up 20 minutes later. 2 tired-looking cops stood at my door. My partner immediately launched into a hysterical performance, claiming I was an abusive, controlling monster who was financially starving them and throwing them into the street. I calmly invited the officers in. I showed them the deed to my house, in my name only, dated 6 years before I met her. I showed them a copy of the legal 30-day notice. I explained, Officer, this is my girlfriend of 5 years. We're breaking up. I've given her and her children a legal 30-day notice to find a new place to live. She is not on the deed or any utility. I am not abusing her. I am simply no longer paying her bills. The cop looked at her, then at me. He sighed. Ma'am, this is a civil matter. He owns the house. He has given you legal notice. If you are not out by date, he can have you legally evicted. There is no crime here. And filing a false report is a crime. Her face, when she realized the police weren't going to arrest me and force me to pay her bills, was a definition of defeat. The last 30 days were a special kind of hell. She didn't pack. She didn't look for apartments. She and the kids engaged in a campaign of passive-aggressive, and sometimes just plain aggressive, warfare. They were trying to break me. They'd leave food out to rot on the counters. They'd blast music at 3 a.m. They used my expensive shampoo to wash the dog. The son accidentally left the garden hose on, flooding a flower bed and nearly the basement window. They were trying to make me so miserable I'd give in just to make it stop. It didn't work. I just packed a bag, forwarded my mail to my office, and went to stay in a long-term executive suite. I told my lawyer to handle the eviction. The day before the 30 days were up, my phone blew up. It was her, crying, begging. Then the kids started texting. Son, look, I'm sorry. We were jerks. Please don't make us move. I'll get a job, I swear. Daughter, it's not fair. All my friends are here. You're ruining my life. Then came the text from my partner, the one I'd been waiting for. Okay, I give up. You win. I'm sorry. I was wrong. So wrong. You are their dad. You're the best dad they could ever ask for. I'll sign anything. I'll sign a paper saying I get nothing if we break up. Please, just stop this. Call the school. Please. They're my babies. And there it was. The title I've been trying to. Earned for 5 years, finally given as a ransom note. I replied, it's too late. The title, Dad, isn't a tool you get to use to unlock my bank account. You made it clear what I was. I believe you. The eviction is tomorrow. Then came the call from her son, and he wasn't crying. He was furious. You know what? He spat into the phone. You're a pathetic old man. You needed us. You needed a family, and now you're throwing it away. Mom was right. You're nothing. I hope you die alone. I just said bye, son's name, and hung up. The eviction day was clean. I paid for the eviction team and a moving crew. My lawyer and 2 sheriff's deputies were present. I was not. Her and her kids' belongings were professionally packed and moved into a storage unit, which I paid for 60 days. The locks were changed. By 5 p.m., my lawyer called. It's done. They're out. The aftermath was a flurry of legal noise. Her lawyer tried to sue me for everything. De facto parentage, unjust enrichment, palimony. It all got tossed out with prejudice. My lawyer presented her own words. You're not their dad. Accept it. As Exhibit A. The judge agreed. Case dismissed. She had no claim on me, my house, or my money. I heard through the grapevine what happened. She and the kids are living in a cramped 2-bedroom apartment across town. The one she could get with her part-time job, and no credit. The kids are at the local public high school. They're not adjusting well. The son didn't have the grades. Turns out the $30,000 per year school was just passing along, and has no car and no job. The daughter is apparently miserable. The SUV? I sold it last week. Got a nice check for it. My house is quiet now. It's clean. My finances are my own. I did the math. In 5 years, I had spent just over $480,000 on them. On their school, their car, their insurance, their clothes, their vacations. I paid $500,000 for a 5-year lesson in boundaries. Last week, she texted me. I really miss you. I miss what we had. I didn't even bother to block the number. I just read it and thought, clarity. She doesn't miss me. She misses my money